Hey guys, how you doing? This is Manga, etc. and I'm here to bring the review for Shaman King, episode 27. So right off the bat, I'm going to say is that this episode did not go the way I thought it was going to go. I thought we would have spent more time on the Ren versus Yo's dad fight with maybe Trey hopping in there as well. But we essentially didn't get that. The whole of last week's episode was essentially the fight. And what we get in this episode was Ren again reinstate the I will not waver line, and I feel like because within this episode it's showing that Ren actually attacks at the same time he's actually saying this, whereas last week it was just a line, so a little bit misleading, but it's not important. But he manages to catch Yo's dad off guard and essentially land a hit, which then ends the fight. And when Yo's dad goes on to say, "Okay, now cool, like now will you let me teach you the techniques from the books?" Ren delivers a line that I very much do like. Is that no, you ain't teaching me nothing. Still staying true to himself because he said no one's gonna teach him anything. But Ren's like, yeah, you're not teaching me. I'm gonna steal the techniques. I was like, yeah, you do that, Ren. You do that. Way to go. But I think that's what Yo's dad wanted it to seem. I basically think this is all going according to what Yo's dad was planning. Anyway, he didn't ever think that Ren was going to be the type of guy that's like, yeah, teach me, I'm ready, yeah, kind of thing. He was expecting this anyway, and he would only have to quote unquote teach Trey and Choco Love. So I think things were going accordingly to his plans anyway. So that's where we start things off, and then they have a little bit of a munch while Ren's recovering from the battering that he got from his dad. And actually, now I'm going to mention it actually because it did get me intrigued and it got me thinking just a little bit. Because while during this time, Ren comes to the conclusion that Yo's dad and his dad had a fight. And he addresses this to Yo's dad. And then Yo's dad said to Ren, maybe this is a translation issue, but if it's not, it is interesting because Yo's dad said it's more like he self-destructed. So maybe because I was thinking that Yo's dad gave Ren's dad the battering, a battering, a very good fight where he just came up on top. But maybe there's more to that fight that we didn't see. Obviously, the fight was off screen, so what could have gone in any other way. So maybe there is more to that fight, and then that line got me thinking about that. So there was another thing that Yo's dad said that got me thinking as well, because basically when it's coming around to, okay, I'm gonna need to teach you guys now. Yo's dad said that how I don't have time to teach you things step by step. You got to learn it through combat. And that got me thinking where maybe things when it comes to teaching these three anyway is going to be more of a rush job, and they won't be as skilled if they had, because I think it's a thing of not having enough time, so they might be, maybe they won't master all the techniques, or maybe they just have the basics down of some of the techniques, and maybe they may not even get through the whole book. But it was because of that line, it got me thinking. It got me thinking about that because if I'm remembering correctly, in the original anime, they learn directly from the book by going into the book, and I think they master everything. I think that's how it went in the original anime, but I definitely remember them going into the book. Let me know in the comment section. Yeah, you know who I'm referring to. I can't remember your YouTube name, but let me know. Let me know. I know you're watching. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. I always look forward to your comments. Yeah. So let me know. Yeah. Uh, yeah. So that happened, and then quite surprisingly to me, we have the two patch members, and then they come over. It's like that's where we find out. Obviously, we knew they were loyal to Ziki anyway, and they're like, no, we can't interfere, but we know someone who can, and that leads to the action for this episode. And before I talk about the action for this episode, I think I'm going to talk about something else. So, as we know, Yo's dad, if you've seen the episode, you know, Yo's dad within this episode has a match during the Shaman King tournament. And his tournament team consists of 2 kids. And I'm quite concerned about these 2 kids, and that's simply because of their performance within this episode. And it's not a big annoyance, but it's a small minor annoyance. And what adds to my annoyance as well is when we get that line from one of the patch members, I can't remember which one it was, but he basically says on the lines of something on the lines of, I don't care if they're kids or adults, at the end of the day, they're still shaman who have made it this far. Meaning how we shouldn't see them as kids, we should see them as potentially strong Shaman King participants. But when it came to these 2 kids getting ambushed, they was really acting like kids, and that just threw me off because of the whole line and like just self-logic. Like even I was thinking that, but you know, the shaman at least fight back. I have no problem with them being saved, but the fact that they were just sitting there acting very kiddie and allowed themselves to get attacked and not fight back, that really threw me off. But we had that. And then we had the action for the episode, which is basically Ren showing us that that Ren successfully stole the first teaching of the book. And we see him utilize it, and he starts off the fight with it in his favor, because it seems like he's going to be the one to come out of top at the end of the fight, with Trey and Choco Love watching on. And now, as the fight goes on, it is revealed to us that the patch member that Ren killed back quite a while ago was actually the brother of the one that was standing right there before them. And now this throws Ren off, which enables his enemy to catch him lacking and therefore deliver a hefty blow. And now, when I was watching this, and he was there lying on the floor, kind of looking like Yamcha in the Saiyan saga, kind of, I was thinking to myself, get up. And then when they started to, I think it was Trey who was doing this, he's like, you're just using the same technique that your dad did. I was like, yeah, that's just gonna be. That's what it's gonna be. But there's no just bare delayed, and there's just some sort of slight difference. Maybe he's better at it or something like that. And I was just like, yeah, he's gonna get up now. But he doesn't get up. And then we have the line delivered by the patch member who was like, Oversouls can't cast a shadow. And I was like, crap. And then I started to think, well, he can't die, he's the main character. And then I started to think, what if he does die? So I've been saying it before, like, I'm excited for anything for him, because I don't know what's going to happen completely. And it was just nice to be, I was on the edge of my seat. It was nice to be on the edge of my seat for once, because more time when you watch things like, yeah, they're safe, they're cool, they're fine, whatever. But yeah, for that, I was on the edge of my seat. So Trey and Chocolove join the fight when Ren delivers this very vital wound. Gets delivered this very vital wound. And I personally thought that once they join the fight, I thought, okay, this is the time where Choco Love and Trey are going to show that they too have learnt the first teaching of the book. Via watching Ren fight Yo's dad, and then getting to see it played by Ren within this episode. They've noticed the movements. They've definitely noticed the movements. So they're probably at the very least grasping it. And we also know that Hal's followers, whatever which way you want to call them, they also know this technique as well. So I thought it would have been very nice to have them display it in this instant, but they don't. They don't. They managed to gather Ren. I'm not going to say save him because they're still in danger here. They managed to gather Ren, but they don't seem to know the technique quite yet. So maybe they'll learn it in the next episode. I don't know, but they don't know it yet, which I think kind of a missed opportunity. Kind of, because it makes Ren seem like, well, I guess you can say Ren is a kind of a prodigy because you had Zeke after him, but it makes Ren seem like so much of a faster learner than Trey and Chocolove because of it. So they gather Ren. They're keeping him alive temporarily for now, and they need to get away. I don't think they're gonna get away. I think they will be saved, and who I think is gonna come in and save them is oh boy, yo, double over, so spirit of sword. What you guys telling me now? What are you saying? What are you saying? So that's what I think is going to happen next. Simply because we had the kids that were saved. They were saved by a trio of Anna, Ren's sister, and Anna's little assistant there. So that's the reason why I think Trey and Chocolove will be saved. In regards to Mickey making it to his match and not seeing the match, I don't know. Don't really care about that match right now because the kids are being a bit disappointing. They're not doing things. I'm kind of wondering where Mickey knows them from, because I was thinking if they're teamed up with Yo's dad, they two could potentially know from the book, but then I started to realize, one, Yo's dad may not have taught them because so they don't get wrapped up within the Zeke stuff, and two, maybe they're just random people that you met there. So there was that. Speaking of the teachings, no. Oh, there was something I wanted to say. If I remember, I add it to the video after that. But that's everything. That's the majority of everything I got to say about this episode. I think it deserves a 3-star rating. And like always, guys, I'm asking for your thoughts and opinions. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. But most importantly, take care. Have a nice day.